Todd is great and he is always baked. Morning sun shining, we can't be late. Coffee brewing, tunes on the go. Knock knock, it's the Todd and Joe morning show.
Yeah,
Yeet,
it's us.
yeet. It is I,
What
Joey
up?
Effin Stones. And
Oh, I never
my
changed my name.
my favorite
Hmm.
stoning compadre.
Compadre. You can't put. Well, never mind. Not even gonna finish what I was about to fucking say. Continue.
So this is a iconic episode where Todd finally fucked up and didn't change his name.
It's true. Technically, though, I have not used it on this show.
True.
I
Technically.
can always change it. I forgot. Listen, it happens. Marijuana. And you know where to get good marijuana? You want to go to
Yeah.
Joe's Buds. That's where you get good marijuana from.
And tell us about this Joe's Buds guy. Tell us about Mr. Joe Simons.
Mr. Joe Simons, well, he seemed to have had you under a little bit of a trance for a while there, but you popped out. You popped out of
Well,
it.
no,
You're
no,
like,
he's
well,
still my mentor. I'm going to be me, but still take all the life lessons, the guidance he offers me. And I'm still his right hand man, but I'm still going to be me. And let this show be, let the network be what it is. Like, we don't have to be like how Joe is, like this
fancy.
three-piece
We don't have to be
suit,
fancy. We're
his
fancy
Louis
in our own right.
Vuitton kicks. He's got these big chains that he won't wear because they're worth more than a small country. Great.
But Joe's Buds, they're out in Onondaga Boulevard in Syracuse. Check them out. 4658. Shut up.
I love that this is like a running gag that because even right now you always second guess yourself every single time you say it.
Yes, I will always for eternity. It's next to Wegmans and behind Limp Lizard. So we really.
And if you know or work at Wegmans or Limp Lizard and you want to throw us some barbecue or money for these free endorsements we give you guys every week,
we'll take both.
For 1 week for 24,000 or 2,400 people. And we hit, how many views did that analytic thing say?
I can't remember, to be honest.
I think we have like 10,000 views.
Yeah, something like that.
Which
we're doing good.
For us is a lot.
Yeah, it is.
All right.
So
what do you got for me today, Todd? I got some
a lot of
facts
stuff
later on.
You got fucked up
this
facts.
This is your show. You run it.
I got Todd news, of course. I got some things you shouldn't say to a woman after having sex with her.
Wait, we got to talk to him after?
Yeah, we got to finish up video games.
Nightstand, and they usually just leave.
We got to finish video game news and reviews that we started last week. We ended up having a little bit of a technical difficulty. That's why it kind of stopped abruptly.
Because
we never have
Niche Nerd Network without technical difficulty.
I was going to say, we never have
It was like that when we were on the D. It's like that now. Something's going to always fuck up. Me and Todd were telling Drew the other day about how we were having issues at the studio. We couldn't get it to fucking live stream. So I was like, oh, we'll just do a Facebook Live thing. So me and Todd sat there, and I sat there with my hand out like this for 45 minutes. And then I realized I had never gone live. So me and Todd sat there like, I sat there like an idiot talking with Todd, talking to ourselves.
We're special people.
And yet we still plug on.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we are the equivalent to the indie wrestler to WWE of what like real podcasters and us. We're the indie guys that we're hoping for our one shot, our 8 Mile moment.
We'll get it one day. We'll get it.
Yeah.
We're also going to do a little Todd and Joe MST3K because we didn't get a chance to do that last week either. And something else that I haven't told Joe about, and we're going to wait till we get to it because it's more fun that way. I've noticed with Joe to not tell him things.
Yeah, because usually at the end of the episode is the best time to drop these things on me.
Yes.
But
Todd News, where the useless news comes first.
Hit me with your best shot.
So 1, 2. All right. So we have one regular story. And then you want to know what the other 3 are?
Oh, thank you, God. Because my week is not complete. I can't kick my week off right without knowing that somebody out there is being their best self. And they are securing themselves a Guinness Book World Record.
It's true. It's true. But this one, it is a little odd, to be honest with you. You may have seen this. It was kind of making the rounds and shit.
Todd?
It is Todd. Pigeon pandemonium erupted on a Delta flight from Minnesota to Wisconsin when 2 birds took flight in the passenger cabin. Tom Caw, a passenger aboard Delta Flight 2348 from Minneapolis, St. Paul.
His last name's Caw?
Yes.
Like the bird?
Yes. No, that's a macaw, I believe.
Well, don't they caw?
Crows do. This isn't crows. This is pigeons.
Sorry.
Pigeons coo.
So continue. I'm side. Shut up,
go. Let's see. The student is aboard. Whatever he said. The first pigeon flew through the passenger cabin during preparations for takeoff on Saturday. The bird was removed by baggage handlers, but a second pigeon came out of hiding once the plane left the terminal.
My man had an accomplice. Like, dude, like they're rolling too deep. Like this. Yeah. This wasn't a stowaway. They were going to assassinate somebody.
Oh, yeah. It was on the floor, strutting down the aisle. Someone near me reached down and tried to grab it, and that's when the chaos happened because the bird just launched into flight. Caw recorded the moment as passengers nearly captured the pigeon with his jacket. The plane returned to the... What?
I'm making fun of you.
Oh. The plane returned to the terminal, and the pigeon was taken outside by the same baggage handlers who caught the first avian. Caw said a flight attendant then asked passengers to check for any more feathered stowaways. Everybody started laughing, Caw said, and then she waited for a second and then said, okay, yes, it's funny, but seriously, check to see if there are any more birds under your seats or in your bags. The flight finally took off and landed in Madison 56 minutes after its scheduled time. Caw said he was happy the incident ended without injury to humans or birds. Like, I'm sorry. Now, if we were talking about maybe crows or obviously like bigger birds, like, yeah, there's going to be some injury. But like, how much is a pigeon really going to do to you?
I don't know. Like,
poop on you?
But they have a lot of disease and shit.
Exactly. Well, yeah, no, they're dirty ass fucking rat birds, but still. So yeah. Now.
So, like, do you ever see that cartoon movie came out probably 6-7 years ago where Will Smith is like a secret agent, but his mind gets put into a pigeon?
I remember the trailer for it. I never watched it.
We took the kids to it. It wasn't bad, but this is what this made me think of. Like, I'm pretty sure those pigeons were there for a reason. Like, there wasn't one, there was 2. They're rolling in a partnership. They're taking somebody out. I would have been curious to see what other pets were on that flight, and maybe there was like a famous, celebrity acting animal that they were getting paid to take out.
I don't know how many famous people are flying from Minnesota to Wisconsin.
You don't know where animals live. He might have a secluded ranch in Minnesota to stay. Brock Lesnar lives in Minnesota.
I was going to say that's true. Lesnar could be hanging out with them.
Yeah.
All right. Are you ready for some world records?
Yes, I am.
Because we got them. An Australian fitness enthusiast completed 7,079 pull-ups in 24 hours. Nearly doubling the previous Guinness World Record. Olivia Vinson, 34, told Guinness World Records she was looking for a challenge when her husband and coach suggested she attempt the record for the most pull-ups in 24 hours for a female. I hate that they separated. I was looking for a bigger challenge, and my husband and coach actually suggested 24 hours of pull-ups, which I initially, quite literally, laughed at because I thought there was no way. I looked up what the current record was, which was 4,081, and again, I thought, there's no way. Vincent said that it was only after she crunched the numbers on the previous record, which was set by Polish woman Paula Gorlo in 2021, that she started to reconsider. After a little while, I did some math on it and I thought maybe I could, she said. Vincent trained for 3 months before her first attempt, which ended prematurely. I got about 12 hours in it and I pulled a bicep tendon in my left arm, which meant at that point I couldn't even do a single pull up. The injury forced her to take 2 months off for resuming training, and she finally felt ready for the second attempt. Vincent said her second attempt had its own challenges. 19 hours in, I started to feel quite nauseous, and I think it was just from being overtired, and it was something I had to manage the best as possible. My concern was whether my body would hold out. The athlete managed to complete the attempt with 7,079 pull-ups, an average of 5 pull-ups every minute. I achieved a number that I genuinely didn't think was possible for me when I first came into this. I think there is something deeply human about pushing boundaries, and I think world records create a very tangible marker for human potential.
Dude,
So
like,
just imagine being on a fucking pull-up bar for 24 hours straight and doing 5 pull-ups every fucking minute.
just imagine like what your body's going to feel like that next day. Like, I'm curious if she has any kind of permanent damage, like on her body from doing. Like, we're not built for that.
No. And then
Like,
what
we're
happens like if you,
biodegradable,
oh yeah, like what happens if you have to go to the bathroom?
right?
Is she wearing a diaper? Like,
I
do
don't
they
know,
put up
man.
like a fucking like, like little
A
enclosure
kiddie
around
pool?
her? Yeah,
Dude,
like
there's a
I
kiddie
don't.
pool below her, so she can just keep going.
That's the one thing as weird as it is. I'm like, how the fuck 24 hours if you're on a pull-up bar are you fucking going to the, because no one could be
Right.
like, I'm not gonna go to the bathroom for 24 hours. Like, that's fucking impossible. Next one. A British daredevil broke a Guinness World Record when he performed 7 backflips in 30 seconds while on fire.
So you said British Daredevil.
Hmm.
I'm picturing the Marvel character Daredevil,
But British.
but in like Union Jacked out.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm seeing in my head, and that is who's doing the flips. And like, honestly, I've seen Daredevil do way more flips on this TV show. I'm not
Ryan
impressed by the British version.
Ryan Looney, 28, a daredevil with multiple Guinness World Record titles to his name, donned protective gear, which means you're just a bitch, and was fully engulfed in flames for his acrobatic feat. I was freezing, Looney told Guinness World Records. I'm wearing a couple layers underneath that are soaked in a gel and put in a fridge for 24 hours to help protect me from the fire. It was extremely cold, you bitch. Looney
Yeah.
successfully set the record for the most standing backwards somersaults in 30 seconds, full body burn, and was immediately sprayed with a fire extinguisher and wrapped in a towel to extinguish the flame. See, that just takes the fun out of it. Let the motherfucker run around for a bit. There are so many records for full body burns that I didn't even think I could have had a chance at even touching. So now that I'm done with this record, I've kind of got the bug again, and I'm thinking I could do more. Why the fuck are people lighting themselves on fire and setting world records and shit? Like, none of
That's
this
why
is.
I'm laughing so hard when you're calling him a pussy, because I know how you feel about fire. So like, I'm laughing because like, dude, I would never ever do that shit. This guy's insane.
Yeah.
Like, if Looney is not a stage name and that's his actual name, fuck his parents for fucking this kid up for his whole life.
Yeah, it's like Luney.
Oh, that's so it's fake. Oh my god, it's real. That's his real last name.
Yeah.
They're assholes.
So this last one brings back a friend of ours.
Oh,
A
Jesus.
pair of serial Guinness World Record breakers reunited in Idaho to capture the title for the most behind the back baseball catches in 1 minute. David Rush, who holds
I
the
quit.
most.
I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I yo, what is wrong with this guy?
So David Rush, many stories on, who holds the most concurrent Guinness World Record titles, reunited with former neighbor Jonathan Hollywood Hannon in Boise, which I think we've done a few stories on him too. The two men had been neighbors and record-breaking partners for several years before Hannon moved to Michigan. We were neighbors and co-conspirators in over 30 world record titles, from speed
Wait,
challenges to coordination.
stop.
What?
They were next door neighbors?
Yeah. Yep. Apparently.
What? The serious F, dude. Like,
And so they hold over fucking 30 titles together as well.
I'm sending contact info out to these dudes. Like, I want them. I want to talk to them because I just went from fuck these guys to there's a show here where two best friends who live next door to each other just go around and do these records. I want to watch this Netflix show now. I've completely 180'd. I am no longer a hater. I am a lover. I want to see this show. Netflix, don't even pay me. Just give me it. I just want to consume it. So it's David Rush and who's the other one?
Jonathan Hollywood Hannon.
Rush in Hollywood. I love it. It's the name is built there. Oh, come on. Give it to me.
So we were neighbors and co-conspirators in over 30 world record titles. From speed challenges, coordination stunts, we've always put each other to the edge of what's possible, then a little further. Rush wrote online. Yeah, exactly.
That sounded a little.
The pair took time during the reunion to take on the title for the most behind-the-back baseball catches in 1 minute, which stood at 30. We didn't jump right into it. Are you raising your hand? Because I can't see it.
No, I'm throwing the baseball behind my back.
But yeah, is it like that? Is it like kind of like one of those?
So as they started doing that, I'm like, so am I throwing and then like turning around to catch it from the back, or are we like just because if it's back to back and they're catching it and throwing it, that's way more impressive than catching it from the back, turning around, and then like throwing it forward.
Yeah, that's it. Doesn't really say. We didn't jump right into it. Took a few warm-ups, a couple of missed time tosses, and a solid rhythm to get back in sync. But once we locked in, the chemistry was undeniable, just like old times. The men successfully took the record with 39 catches in 1 minute. One is the pitcher, one is the catcher. Rush said that the record also gave the pair another distinction. With this new title, we believe we now hold the most active Guinness World Records together as a duo. So I wonder if they're going to world record for that shit.
I thought he was going to say the most active records involving balls.
Probably too. From Boise backyards to official record-breaking stages, our partnership has always been about fun, challenges, and pushing limits together.
Boise backyards could be the name of their porn company.
Probably is. Oh Lord.
Oh.
We're gonna be reading. That's been a while to be reading world records about that dude.
Since the beginning of the show, I'm pretty sure he was one of the first, if not the first person we talked about that does them. Like, this is like these guys are wild. Like, they're Russian Hollywood, Boise Backyard Productions. They'll get famous one way or another. There's other world records they can start to break.
They probably unofficially have. Oh yeah.
Okay. Is it? Am I doing my fucked up facts now?
Yeah, you can if you want.
Because you said you got the surprise at the end.
Yeah.
All right. So, let us put this over here.
Oh, you should have sent me the shit. I would have put it in here.
Right, but remember it wasn't showing up for me?
No, I could have put it in. That's why I said you should have sent it to me. Like emailed it, and I would have put it in.
That's all right. Welcome to... Oh, it's not loaded in the thing, is it?
That's what I'm saying.
Wait, it might be.
No,
if you use the Todd and Joe Studio, it might be at the bottom. No?
Intro,
right.
outro.
So, in post, I will put it in. So, guys, I'm about to do fucked up facts, right? Hey, welcome back. It is us, and this is Joe's Fucked Up Facts. I'm your host, Joe. Todd is going to get a little bit of knowledge bombs dropped on his head right now. So, the first thing I want to kick it off with is I want to talk about love. Octopus love. Are you ready for octopus love, Todd?
Octopus love, you say?
Yes. Yes. All right.
Do
First,
tell.
did you know octopus, they have 9 brains, 3 hearts, and 0 post nut chill. You want to know why? When a male octopus gets his freak on, he literally launches one of his arms full of sperm into the female, and then, in many species of octopus, he just dies. He busts a nut, and it's over. Just think about that. Immediately getting ghosted because she like broke your mating arm off.
And then dying.
Right. So you know how they say that you peacefully die in your sleep?
Oh, Lord.
You know it sounds real nice, right?
I don't know if I want to hear this. It's one of my fucking...
Well, Todd, if your body isn't stored right, you can turn into a human pinata full of guts and regret. It's called coffin explosion. Gases build up inside a sealed casket, and boom, internal corpse pressure forms, and you turn into a giant meat fucking grenade. It's not rest in peace, it's rest in pieces. And because of this, funeral homes now have what they call birth valves on caskets to release the pressure so like they're not blowing up the funeral homes. Can you imagine that? Like getting a call like, "Hey, this is the cemetery and your
Your loved
dad
one just exploded.
your dad's not where he was. He's everywhere now." Like, he thought he made it out of Vietnam. Well, Vietnam came back for him.
So that actually
we're gonna go.
reminds me of learning back in the day. I think it was like during one of the world wars when they had like the mass graves, but because they
Right.
didn't do anything to the people and like all the gases, like whatever, like the ground would fucking like move and shit because
Right.
like, so yeah, I always thought that was crazy to be like, oh, that's fucked up, man. See the ground moving, not on drugs.
Can you imagine that? And then also it's like, poof. Oh, dude. All right, so I'm gonna paint a picture for you. It's 1919,
Okay, good year.
Boston. All right, January 5th,
A
2
lot
days
of
after
Irish
my
shit going
birthday,
on.
and you're just walking through the streets. You're hanging out. You're, I don't know, wearing your knickerbockers and having your driving cap, and you turn and you look, and you see a 25-foot wave of molasses coming at you at about 35 miles an hour because a giant tank of molasses exploded. And this is what happens: 21 people died, drowned in molasses. Horse carriages got steamrolled by the son of a bitch. Whole buildings got flattened, like pancake flat. And the cleanup took years. They were still finding sticky footprints in random buildings decades later. Like,
So drowning is a terrible way to go, in my opinion. Like just the imagination of filling, your lungs filling with water. But the hell torture to drown in something like molasses.
and it was probably like hot too, because if it's hard
So I'm wondering
molasses
if,
isn't
like,
moving
yeah,
35 miles an hour. Like if it's stored in that tank, it's got to be hot molasses. So you're not just like drowning slower than you would with
it's like
water.
burning too.
It's burning your lungs from the inside.
Yeah,
That
that's
like fucking crazy, right?
that's terrible. That is
So
terrible.
so we're gonna now travel from Boston, and we're gonna go to the land down under, Australia.
Yay.
And what's Australia famous for, Todd?
Fosters.
Okay. Okay, what animals are they? 3 come to mind myself, but what 3 animals do you think of when you think of Australia?
A dingo, a koala, and a fucking kangaroo.
There you go. You hit 2 of the 3 that I would say. I would have said crocodile, just because of Crocodile Dundee.
Well, dingoes ate my baby, so
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. But we're going to talk about koalas right now. They're
they're
cute.
adorable and vicious at the
They're
same time.
cuddly. they're stoned-looking tree demons, and they could frame you for murder, Todd. You want to know why? Koala fingerprints are identical to human fingerprints, like even down into a microscope. It's almost impossible to tell the difference.
That's fucked up.
That's crazy, right?
Fuck them koalas.
So, and we're going to go further back in time to ancient Roman times. All right. Now, they were trying to develop their own routines for, well, the teeth care. They didn't have Colgate. Crest wasn't a thing. Listerine didn't exist, Todd. So, do you know what the ancient Romans used? What they used to gargle to clean their mouths out with? Can you take a guess?
No. I don't know much about Roman Empire, so I don't know what they had back then.
Well, because of the potency of the smell, they used their own urine as mouthwash. And that, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've enjoyed this little depraved educational ride. This is Joey Stones, and like us, love us, or we'll send you Roman mouthwash.
Eek.
No.
So can we just call it like a Roman mouthwash shower?
Ooh. The shower of them.
Terrible. Terrible.
A lot of pineapple, huh?
So this one thing, because we've all kind of seen it, but we're going to play it again anyway and just kind of chat briefly about it, because I think a lot of us are excited about this. So I'm just gonna play it quick.
I have so many questions. So many questions.
So I don't know how much you've read about it. I've read kind of
I haven't
the
read
general.
any. I've been purposely but no. Tell me. Talk to me.
So the general. So as you watch that, you see it kind of age, but you see Hank disappear for a bit. Somebody else is living in his house. So from what I read, I think he starts his own propane business. I think that's what I read, and ends up moving to Saudi Arabia for this business. Bobby is, I believe, a chef. And like, I don't know if it's like a high class restaurant, but he's like a like very good chef now in maybe like Dallas. So they come back, obviously move back in. So that's why there's like the gap where Hank disappears and Bill is fucking crying because he fucking ends up moving to like Saudi Arabia, him and Peggy. So obviously they get a new neighbor, but it also shows, which this is what I like about this, because as we know, The Simpsons have never aged. Family Guy has never aged. American Dad has never aged. They may have done episodes. Like there was a Simpsons episode where the kids were older. There's been Family Guy episodes. South Park, exactly.
Like they did the post-COVID episode.
Yeah.
And then they went back to being they've only in 30 years they've aged one grade.
Yeah. And even Futurama. Like they've had those years, breaks between everything, and they've never, like, the years in the show have changed, but they've never like aged still. It might be like 10 years later, technically, whatever, but you never see them actually like age.
This might be a Mike Judge thing, because when he brought back Beavis and Butthead,
he did So it is nice to see that it's not just like, oh, well, we're just going to pick up where we left off. It's like, hey, you know what? Let's not. It's been this long since King of the Hill ended. Let's actually bring it up to speed what it would be like currently, where everybody would be, blah, blah. Now, I believe it's only at this point in time at 10 episodes. They're all dropping on August 4th. Um, I know that the dude that does Dale's voice, who unfortunately passed away, had recorded, I think, almost every episode. So I'm
Okay.
pretty sure that whole season will have him. And obviously, if they go forward, how they do things from there will be, their call. And obviously, What's Her Face isn't, has been alive for a long ass time. They're Brittany Murphy. Um, so there are a
Oh, I
couple
forgot.
characters you're like, I wonder, how they do it. But overall, I think it looks well aged, like character wise. Like they didn't go overboard, they didn't go underboard with it.
Right.
So but they also touch on, obviously, as you saw, the pandemic, people wearing masks correctly, people not wearing masks correctly, I mean,
Right.
just everything that went on in between. So I think it's going to be a nice little nod to the whole
I
thing.
think it's gonna be good. And it's gonna be nice to like I was one of those guys that I was aware of it when I was a kid. So how did the guy from who voiced Dale die?
I don't remember. Cancer, maybe.
Yeah, I'm looking at it
It was
now.
only like a year or two ago. Well, it's not long ago at all.
Oh wow. So this is kind of weird. Is it coming out the 4th or the 8th?
The 4th of August.
Wow. So on August 8th, 2023, he was found face dead in the bathtub of his home in Austin following a welfare check by local authorities. He was 64 years old at the time of his death. In November, it was reported he had a moderate decomposition of his body, left the manner his body left the cause and manner of death unable to be established. But the examiner noted that his death appeared to be relatively sudden, that drowning was unlikely, and there was no obvious signs of trauma. His body also tested positive for marijuana, and there was unspecified drugs found at the scene.
Well, poo. Um, but yeah, no, I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. And it was one of those things too, where back in the day, I was never really into King of the Hill. Like I watched Beavis and Butthead, and obviously the neighbor there is the derivative of what Hank Hill has become.
Right.
Those kids whacking off of my shed. Um, but I never really watched King of the Hill until probably, I don't know, 15 years ago. You know what I mean? Like,
See,
and
like for
it,
me, it was even later. It was like 10 years ago for me, like when Logan was a baby, and I was just trying to find shit to watch. And I'd always
yeah,
watched caught episodes here and there. Like I was like familiar with the world of the characters and everything. I had just never watched regularly, and then I went back and watched the whole entire series. Like
yeah.
it was kind of well, no, Futurama I watched from the jump.
Which
I
there
always
should be more Futurama coming out. Like, there's another season or two, and they usually come out in like July, but I
right.
haven't seen anything about it. So, a little
And new
confused on
South
that.
Park should be coming out soon too. I
And
just
new Twisted Metal comes out
yes,
July, I think,
yes, I can't wait
which has
for
been
that.
like 2 fucking years or some shit. Way too long. Way
Yeah.
too long. Great
And
fucking
Stranger
show.
Things. Wow, we got a lot coming out this summer.
Yeah. All right. So we didn't get to briefly touch on something last week. So let's roll through it again.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Hey, listen!
it's time for video game news and reviews.
It's time to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of gum.
Fatality
It's me, Mario!
with Todd and Joe.
Yeah. So we
So
talked
remember,
about yeah.
well, I was gonna say, remember, follow us. We're starting our own Twitches and stuff. We're starting to do more of the video game stuff. So, like, if you guys want us to try games or try games together or watch us be horrible at games, like, just let us know.
Just
Send a
give
little
me
comment
Rocket
thing.
League, and I'll show
Yeah,
you being
like,
horrible at a fucking game.
oh, you want to see a 45-minute game go with only one goal scored? Joe versus Todd.
So when I play, generally, like my score, not my scoring, but my score in general in that game is like between 2 and like 36. That's how bad I am at that game.
Oh, I want to play Uno.
I'm terrible at it. We will. I'm
Logan's
actually in the
good.
process
Logan and
of
Blake.
moving. Yeah, dude. I don't. It's. I have fun playing it, but man, it's. So anyway.
Right.
So back in the day, Joe and I kind of grew up with this. We always loved the video games. And then the movies. Now most of them sucked ass. A lot of it's hard to translate a video game to a movie just because of what it is. Like
Mario's
it's hard.
perfection.
Bullshit.
Mario's perfection.
Mario's garbage. Doom was fucking crap. First Mortal Kombat was okay. The second one was like, I was pissed they killed Johnny Cage right off the bat. Like that kind of upset me. Double Dragon was fucking garbage. What else was there? There's been a decent amount of stuff, and it's hard. Now, recently they did a new Mario movie, which I enjoyed. There's Super Mario World that's coming out next year, I think, which I'm excited for the introduction of Yoshi, which he was always one of my favorite characters in a Mario game. But we also had a Jean-Claude Van Damme, Raul Julia Street Fighter movie. Now, the only thing, in my opinion, that probably made this movie watchable, and that's even a stretch, was Raul Julia. I mean, let's admit it. You know what? Jean-Claude Van Damme is Jean-Claude Van Damme, but man, you watch some of the clips, it's just bad. Like, it's just not good.
So I have a funny history with this original movie. So when it first came out, I was living overseas.
Okay.
Right. And that's when I got really big into Street Fighter because we had an arcade in the bottom of our building. I played it all the time. And I couldn't get a copy of it. But there was an American family that lived in our apartment building. Well, the mother was American, her husband was Turkish. And they had a copy of it. And I had been waiting like what felt like forever, but it probably was only like 6 months. But I remember like getting it, and I remember Mortal Kombat being so good and loving it at the time, and be like, "Yes, this is gonna be such good." And then it was like, "What the fuck?" Like, and like, there's been so much news about the original one lately because of the news of the new one. Like, one of the podcasts I listened to just did a whole, they call it Caravan of Garbage, on Street Fighter. Like this one, and then they did the Chun-Li one that came out like 10 years ago.
Oh, yeah. There's also
But
a
like,
good, I haven't watched it yet, but there is also a riff tracks for the original Street Fighter movie.
oh my god, that'd be amazing.
So yeah, so that's coming out. So far, people that have been in talks for roles, these first two people, I have no clue who they are. Maybe if you're like, oh, they're so and so and blah blah blah, I might know. But Andrew Koji, Koji.
I did probably see his face.
Noah Centineo, Centineo.
I know him. He played. He was on, I want to say, the show The Fosters, and then he was in The Rock's Black Adam movie.
Oh, okay.
He played Adam Smasher.
I get you. Jason Momoa.
Never heard of him.
And Roman Reigns
Never heard of
are
that guy.
kind of in talks for roles. There is also IMDb reports that Alan Richson is in talks for the role of Guile, while
Which would be perfect.
I think that Noah dude's in talks for the role of Ken.
Okay.
I can't remember the other ones are at this point in time, but
I'm pulling it up right now to look.
it's supposed to be released March 20th, 2026.
So next March.
Yeah, it's being co-developed and produced by Legendary Pictures and Capcom, of course.
Oh, Capcom. Huh? Let's see. You're in talks as well. So with Reigns possibly playing Akuma and Momoa playing Blanca.
Yeah, Momoa's Blanca. See, so I don't know much about. I played the game, but I only played the game.
Oh, dude, Andrew Koji is the guy who played Storm Shadow in the Snake Eyes movie.
Oh, okay. Like that Akua dude, I have no, or person, whatever, I have no clue who that is, because
Akuma?
like Yeah, I only play I played the games, but that was never a character in any of the games that I played.
He's the secret boss at the end that has like the
Oh,
purple thing, and he's got like the orange skin and the big red hair. He stands. I think that's who he is. Let me Kuma. Yeah, he looks kind of like some of them he has red hair, some of he has white hair. I'll share my screen. This dude.
oh,
Does
okay.
he look familiar? So that's Akuma.
I think that was in later games, though. I think the original Street Fighter, I don't think had him in it. Like OG Street Fighter, I don't recall. Like Bison was always like the end character.
Street Fighter 2 Turbo. He was the secret villain.
Okay, yeah. Which I may have done like 1 and 2. I don't know if I played like the Turbo. I don't know what was the difference with it, but I'm pretty sure.
Turbo had extra characters, and I think that might be really it.
I get you. So
Right.
yeah, we'll see how that kind of goes along. We'll keep you updated because that's what we do here, Todd and Joe.
Well, and like the cast sounds awesome, and
Yeah, for sure.
Like anything with Momoa is great. Okay,
Yeah.
so the only difference was there's other game modes and new characters.
Yeah, so I think I played like 1 and 2, but never like Turbo or really anything after that. So I think this week we're gonna hold off on the MST3K for now because we're save on time because we still got a list of things.
I mean, if you want, we can dedicate the whole episode to it because I have something that I want that I'm going to surprise you with that I want to do the same thing with. So, like, how long's yours?
That Old Country Buffet, the whole training, like that whole thing is like 10 minutes, but we don't have to do all 10 minutes of it.
But we can because mine.
We can.
Like, we can do a whole episode. We'll start off a Country Buffet, then we'll hit it with mine, and we can even talk about Todd news and everything during.
Yeah.
The rewatch.
That'll be next week's episode. First, and then we're gonna finish it off with something Joe doesn't know about, but I think he'll have fun with. First, we're gonna give you some advice. Todd and Joe advice.
Oh.
That's really like good advice.
Some love advice. Love advice.
Things never to say to a woman after you've just made love. You ready?
Oh, I'm shaking in anticipation.
What do I do now? I've never used anyone before.
Okay.
The night's still young. Let's pick up some guys.
Wait, what?
It's just there. This one seems a little too much. I don't know who the person is. So, stick with me, homegirl. You ain't fucked till you fucked in a crack lab. Be careful when you slip on your shoes. I can't find the condom.
Yeah.
Look on the bright side. It's important to learn from our mistakes.
Yo. That's a good one.
Do you have any sisters like you? Mind if I masturbate? We might salvage this yet. I shouldn't have bought condoms at Toys R Us. Are you still there? You're all like grainy and.
I'm here.
Okay, you should just glitch out bad on my end. I can save you up to 40% on your insurance needs.
Wow, trying to make a buck. I like it. I respect the hustle there.
I mostly, half the time I don't read all of these, so a lot of these are new to me as well. I have a headache. Have you checked your vagina for radon? The horror. The horror. That reminds me.
What was down there?
Yeah. That reminds me. It's my turn to get the bait. Oh shit.
Hey, ladies.
This one is. I am prerequisiting this, but this one is bad. Like, this one is fucking bad. Even bad for Todd and Joe standards. The bad news.
I'm ready.
The bad news, I tested positive. The good news, I've got a smashing design for my segment of the AIDS quilt. And this last one. I guess I'm
That
not
wasn't the
monogamous
last
after.
one?
No, this is the last one. I guess I'm not monogamous after all.
Wow. Wow. I don't ever want to hear any of those things.
Terrible. I told you. At least I warned people about, how terrible
About
something
you?
is, even by our standards.
You warned them about you?
Yes. So, let me see if I can find. Okay, here we go. So this last one, something new, something I just scan the internet for different things to do on here to change it up, to not make it stale, to keep it fresh. Like, we just keep us in Tupperware, and every time you open it, we're just fresh as shit. So this one I've titled The Movie
I found
Game.
a creamsicle.
Ooh, nice. This
The
is
movie game?
The Movie Game. So what I'm going to do is I have two different things, an A and a B. Each one has an object and a setting. So you'll pick either A or B. I'll read you the shit in there. And what your job is, I will give you the Jeopardy music to think about it. So it's like, however long that is, 30 seconds, 45 seconds. What you'll do is come up with pitches and develop a plot for a movie that I give you the object and setting for.
Okay.
So like I said, I will give you the Jeopardy music to, let your brain kind of like, I don't want to just be like, here's this, go right now. I want to give you some time to mull it over, but Jeopardy music seems appropriate. Hopefully we don't get flagged for it. We don't own it, blah, blah, blah. So now they aren't normal by any means. Obviously it's me. So they are shit that's going to make you think about how you can do this. And we'll try to limit it to, like, if you're pitching somebody a movie, you want to keep it, no less than like 2 minutes, no more than like 3. Because to me, that's like
2 minutes. 2 minutes sounds about the good stuff.
Yeah. So Joe,
do you have a timer?
A,
too?
what's that?
You gotta
I
put
can
timer
watch
to-
the
Oh, okay, I
clock
got you.
at how long we've been recording.
Okay.
So Mr. Joe, A
Yes.
or B?
B.
B. Your object for this movie is a squirt gun.
Okay.
Okay.
Well.
Like a super soaker. That's what she said. Your setting is a cultural heritage museum.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
You got it. And here's
Yep.
your time to think. Okay. Are you ready?
So,
I will
yeah,
give you, hold on. I'm going to wait till it gets to a time that's easy for me to go. And in 3, 2, 1.
all right. Jake, I don't know, we'll give him a last name of whatever. Smokeston. Jake Smokeston. He's your average guy. He He's kind of a slacker. He works as a late night janitor at the fucking Cultural Heritage Museum, cleaning off the different what are they called, wings of the museum or whatever. And one day he's leaving work, he gets kidnapped. Van, everything, boom, put in there. The Russians want to kill presidential candidate, blah blah blah, who's going to be there. He's black guy and everything. He's going to be speaking in the Martin Luther King Jr. wing. They're revealing Martin Luther King's tie that he wore during the "I Gave a Dream" speech. Super heavy security, metal detectors, and everything else. While they're making this guy go in, and he's got to poison the drink. But the poison isn't a squirt gun. That's how he's bringing it in. Because nobody can get near him. Nobody's going to be able to get near the drinks and everything. So, this liquid poison, how are they going to do it? How are they going to get it into him? The squirt gun, because they're going to activate the sprinklers. So, water and everything's coming down. He's going to. That's what they tell him he's going to do. He's got to figure out how he's not going to do that. Craziness ensues. He ends up meeting all these different people along the way. And at the end of the day, he ends up saving the president's life. And at the end of the movie, he ends up becoming part of the Secret Service. And he's no longer a slacker. He's found his true thing. Kind of like a comedy, Die Hard kind of thing. I'm
Love it.
seeing fucking Jake Johnson from like The New Girl that played the one guy. I see him like security guard or something in that. Slacker, no, nothing in life, and then he ends up having to do this thing. And he flips it on its script.
Love
So what
it.
do you think? Would you make it? Make it? Or, well, we got to come up with a saying for this. So it's either film it or fuck it.
Film it.
All right, we got our first film.
All right. Well, that's what I got. Hope you liked that.
I love
I
that.
figured that'd be right up your alley.
That's
You're
what. That's like a
creative person.
tweak of the freestyle storytelling, but a more compact version. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
And the more I do it, the more I'll be able to come up with some zany shit.
Yeah, like I said, that's why I want to give you that time to think. You know, it's
Yeah,
not
like it.
fun, in my opinion, just to be like, "Hey, now do it," because
I mean, sometimes I come up with my best shit that way, though.
yeah, maybe I'll make it different. Maybe you never know when I'll just be like, "You have no time to think about this. Go."
Yeah,
But I'll give you
I
an
like it.
extra like minute to do it.
Like, and you have to like say the first word to start me off. Like you'd be like, flatten horse carriage, and then I have to just go from that. I like that. All right.
Something new.
So- We got anything else?
Oh, I think that is it. We'll do some Todd and Joe MST3K next week. Join us for that.
Yep. So Mondays, you're watching us. Follow us, like us, subscribe, share.
Stalk us.
Tuesdays, typically around 8 p.m. Wrestle Fandom Radio. Me, Todd, Drew, Garrett. Wednesdays are Garrett's day to play. Either he's dropping Wrestle Fandom After Dark, he's handed off Movie Masterpiece Theater for the time being to Casey. We're going to get that going soon. I think Garrett might have one or two left before he's handing that over. Thursdays, MCFUCK, motherfuckers. Me and Drew are doing the Marvel rewatch. Last week we dropped Captain America: The First Avenger. This week will be Captain Marvel. And follow our Twitch stuff. We need to like start updating things and throwing shit on there. Caleb's been doing his top 10 lists. Like we got a lot of stuff coming your way, guys. Like us, follow us, and maybe if you're lucky, we'll make Garrett give you an over the hand or over the pants old.
Ah, where'd you go? Did you click something? All right. Joe disappeared. I don't know how. So yeah, Garrett will touch you. Hey, Joe's back again.
So I'm so used to being on your side and being the one to end the fucking thing, and then everything ends. And I did that, and then I
And left.
realized I don't have those powers during this
You
episode.
don't have the power to do what? This?
Yeah.